We're rolling into week 7. We do not have many wide receivers to stash off the waiver wire, but this week we received a gift as Mecole Hardman just got traded back from the Jets to the Kansas City Chiefs as he reunites with Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people have questions about him, whether or not they should be picking him up or even looking at him, because he has been radio silent this year. But we're going to look at the news, the facts, the data, the advanced metrics to see whether or not you need him in fantasy football. But what you need to do right now is click that subscribe button. Tap it with your finger on your phone. Tap it with your mouse on your computer. Whatever you need to do, because we're doing these deep dives every day. Every day we're going over the waiver wire. We're going over ways to set your lineup. We're going over strategies, guys to trade for, and everything else. Click that button. Stop missing out. But we're going over Mecole Hardman, going over the stats and everything so you know about him. Got traded to the Chiefs this week. Big news. A lot of people are interested in him to see what happens because everyone's interested in Chiefs wide receivers due to how potent this offense is. And we're going to be looking into that as well. He's been radio silent this year. He has not been very productive. 1.6 fantasy points on the season. Not great, but he's also on the Jets. They got some hosses there. Not really the best fit. Aaron Rodgers is gone. He's been hurt. Now we're back to the Chiefs. Things might change. It might. But looking at his production over the years, his best season was in 2021, where he had 693 yards and 2 touchdowns. A year prior, 560 yards and 4 touchdowns. Off and on production, very sporadic, but he can get you double-digit fantasy points a couple times a year, as it looks like he has 3 wide receiver 1 week since 2020. He was a rookie in 2019. Also with the Chiefs, he had 11% target share and an average depth of target of 8.7 yards. So he's not getting deep targets, and he wasn't owning a large portion of the offense to begin with. So it could be something similar to that compared to the rest of the wide receivers in this offense. But looking at him as a prospect, he was a 3rd-round pick. But what we care about is the athleticism. 4.33 40-yard dash, has speed to burn, and that allows him to hit that upside on any given Sunday, given the matchup, given the opportunities. But looking at this team, honestly, the wide receivers aren't stepping up. No one's really stepping up and taking over. However, a trend with the targets is a lot of these guys are getting those short targets, especially Rashee Rice, Skyy Moore, Kadarious Toney, deep ball city to Justin Watson, but still a lot of short targets going around. We should expect the same for Mecole Hardman. 13% target share for Rice, 11% for Toney, 10% for Skyy Moore. Again, we need some potency in this offense as they're running 41 pass plays per game, which is solid. 27.7 seconds between plays, 19th ranked in the NFL. Not the fastest paced offense in the league. So when we look at this, it looks like he's going to be injected in this offense and be another guy, just like the rest of the wide receivers on here. We got a lot of Jag wide receivers. Rashee Rice seems like the guy who's on the come up. Seems like he's getting production every other week. Leads the team in yards among the wide receivers. Looks like there's opportunity there. Travis Kelce soaking up the targets. Isaiah Pacheco is doing well in the run game. Looks like Rice is the guy to own. However, with this offense and how it's built, it's going to be off and on with these wide receivers. And Patrick Mahomes is the Bill Belichick of quarterbacks, where you do not know which wide receiver you're going to want to play on any given Sunday, which makes it very hard. Looking at the schedule, we got some juicy matchups here, which could pump out some production for some of these wide receivers, especially that Dolphins game on week 9. That one's very interesting. We also have some other ones as well. So we will be watching the Chiefs a lot in the back half of the season. But you need them because you want a Chiefs wide receiver. You want something in this offense because those plus matchups are going to be very enticing here in the next few weeks. You're going to want something. Mecole Hardman, if he's getting snaps and running routes, you may want to take a look at him. You may not. It's also too early to invest on the waiver wire because you really want to see how he's getting put into the system right now, if he's getting snaps, if he's running routes. Remember, when he was back there, he wasn't super productive anyways over the last few years, so why would he be now, especially when you have other wide receivers there doing similar things, getting production, seeing targets. It's very spread out. With it being very spread out, it's hard to stash. I don't stash wide receivers. I stash running backs. And if I stash a wide receiver, it's a wide receiver that I think that could go nuclear, like a first-round draft pick, who has some upside but is a boom-bust player, kind of like a Quentin Johnston, and maybe they hit on the back end of the year. But more than likely, I'm stashing running backs and turning and burning that position. But if you want one to stash, maybe I suggest waiting a little bit to see what he looks like on the snap share, target share, and everything else. He might be like the other wide receivers on this team as the ball gets spread around a lot, and it's hard to predict which wide receiver you want each week. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Catch you on the next video.